Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about Carlos King, reality TV producer, as you all know. He actually has a message for us this Sunday. We're going to talk about that. And then I want to show you some IG stories, of course. You know, sometimes the celebrities' IG stories can be like a soap opera, but I just want to talk about, when people hang out together, how reflective is that, So we're going to talk about that in a moment. Now, before we do, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Even if you were to hit the dislike button, either one of those work the same, meaning that YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing the various topics that come about from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you. Of course, the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this video of Carlos King's, as well as some other IG stories, are allowed for criticism. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to mute my mic so that you all do not hear an echo. I'm going to play Carlos's message, and then we will get into that with my commentary. Thank you.
Happy Sunday, Raindrops. The message of the day is real life versus social media life. This message was inspired by me seeing that Nicki Minaj sold out of 18 consecutive shows, and she has more coming. If you pay attention to what people say about her on social media, you would think that would never happen. But in real life, everybody came out to support her. So that goes to show you, you cannot put inventory on what people say about you on social media, online, on the internet, when they gossip about you. You always have to remember that when they attack you, they secretly love you. No one who is doing better than you is ever going to attack you. That's never going to happen. They're too busy living life, working on themselves, having multiple streams of income. They're never going to attack you. The people who attack you, they're your biggest fans. They're the ones who give you the biggest engagement. There's people who's going to leave comments on this video that are going to throw me shade. And I love it. I'm never going to respond to people hating on me. When people say, Carlos, focus on your own shows, Carlos this and that. My response, I'm not. I will focus on what I want to focus on. I will do what I want to do. Okay? Always know this. When God positions you to live a life that people don't understand, it's not for them to understand it, baby. God did not give them the vision or the blessing. He gave it to you. Why would you sit up here and worry about what other people are saying about you when at the end of the day, they're so worried about you, they're not even worried about the man or woman who live in their house. Stop giving inventory to people who always want to misunderstand you. And always know this, they secretly are in love with you. Anybody that has time to create fake pages to attack you, attack your business, attack your character, you need to thank them. Thank them. Because at the end of the day, they are the forces that are pushing you to greatness. Happy Sunday.
Okay, so you all heard Carlos King. He talked about, your haters secretly being in love with you and social media versus real life. So he kind of talked about a few different topics and kind of fused them into one video. Totally normal, but we're going to break it all down. So, first, he used Nicki Minaj as an example of her selling out 18 consecutive shows, which I do think is amazing. That is a huge accomplishment. And he said, if you just looked at people's opinion of Nicki Minaj on social media, you would not think that she would be able to sell out shows. Well, Carlos, in my opinion, especially people's negative comments, nasty comments where they're purposely trolling or they're being unrealistic and harshly judgmental, those are always in the minority. Those are always just few in numbers, few in comparison to people's overall assessment or judgments of someone. Do we all feel like Nicki Minaj is a great rapper? Yes, I think she's creative. I think she has a flow. She definitely has experience with making records and selling records, obviously selling out venues. Like, she's an accomplished rapper. I can give her that. So for any people that judge her negatively, they leave nasty comments on social media, they're trolling her. I'm definitely convinced that it is in the minority. It's very few numbers of that. So that's kind of like a weak argument to say if you just looked at people's social media comments, you would not think that she could sell out shows. Also, for everyone who spent their hard-earned money to buy a Nicki Minaj ticket to one of her shows, I know they spent good money. Money does not grow on trees. They're obviously independent thinkers, and they do not care about the negative comments that they've heard about her. Hell, I mean, we all know who her husband is and what he's been convicted of doing. And those same people still bought concert tickets. They're able to separate or compartmentalize her husband's actions from her musical talent. They totally separate the two and they still support her. But I think that, people not caring about the trolls and what Nicki Minaj's husband has been convicted of allegedly, that is different from his next message where he talks about, your haters, they secretly love you and they're secretly in love with you. He talked about, if God gives you a vision and gives you a life that other people don't understand, it's not meant for them to understand. Now, that I do agree with, especially once you are an adult. You're no longer living under your parents' roofs, abiding by their rules. You are a law abiding citizen. You work every day. You pay for everything that you need. Definitely, you don't need to explain your life to anyone or your life choices. As long as you ain't breaking the law and you ain't hurting nobody, you don't owe anyone anything. Now, what he also mentioned in that video was how people say to him, focus on your own shows, focus on your own shows. And he said that he's going to focus on what he wants to focus on. And that's totally fine, right? He's an adult. We can't control what he decides to focus on. But the same viewers of the TV shows that you produce, that your company produces for, the viewers are asking that you please acknowledge the serious issues that we talk about time and time again. You can't ignore everyone and just let the problems fester. In my opinion, it ain't even about people blacking out his shows and them possibly getting canceled at some point. It's not even that. It's like, acknowledge the serious issues and take care of them. Now, when it comes to Love and Marriage DC, I feel like he is starting to really get invested on the serious problems that the cast is all having with each other. He's asking about cease and desist and secret recordings. Yes, he is. I'll make a separate video about that. But my point is that he's showing like he cares, because the cast is even talking like they don't see the show coming back because they all don't F with each other. And he sounds like he is literally trying to fix it. He's going to do a show in DC on Mother's Day, and he is confident that all of the female cast members of Love and Marriage DC will show up. He's asked them to do that. I do believe that at minimum, we will see Joy, Arena, and Ashley, they were even in the comments on that video. So I do think that they're going to be there, but I think he's going to play therapist at this show in front of their fans, in front of their viewers, to try and get them to commit to continuing to film together. He's going to try and piece it all together. But it seems like he really does care. He's like acknowledging that there are issues. He's even acknowledged that Ashley and Winter allegedly said that they were thinking about quitting, or they were. It sounds like Winter is straight up quitting. And I even asked some questions on like one of her lives this week. I'm like, Carlos is saying that like he's not acknowledging you and Ashley saying you're done because y'all did it on Twitter. He said he needs a resignation letter. And she was like, I don't think that's true. To me, she didn't really give me like a concrete answer, like, oh no, I submitted my letter of resignation, or oh no, my attorney contacted him. She didn't say none of that. She said, oh, I don't think that's true. But, he is really acknowledging all of the issues that show is having. Why can't you do that for Love and Marriage Huntsville? Why is there not an acknowledgement of like the very antiquated, sexist template for marriages on Bell Collective? After Love and Marriage Huntsville, number one for serious issues. And in my opinion, Bell Collective comes in at number 2. And I would say Love and Marriage DC, but I mean, it sounds like he's trying to handle it. So that's why the viewers constantly tell you to focus on your shows, because we see the stalking and the attempt at the revenge pee and, the gang up. And it's exhausting. We're getting tired of it. So that's why people tell you to focus on your own shows. And if you did acknowledge these serious issues, Carlos, perhaps that negative feedback would quiet down because you would actually meet the viewers' needs. You love to review the shows that appear on Bravo. In my opinion, Bravo is finally starting to listen to the viewers. They're starting to acknowledge what everyone is saying. From Andy Cohen, he tries to understand the colorism issue. He brings it up at the reunions. He said that Bravo considered, should we bring on someone to kind of moderate the discussion on it. He said that at the season 7 reunion. I'll never forget, because I'm like, wow, that crossed his mind, and that was something that they thought about. For whatever reason, they did not hire, whether it was like some sort of social activist or someone who dealt with counseling, particularly in the Black community, to kind of talk about colorism, but at least they had the thought, and Andy mentioned it at the reunion. So to me, they're starting to listen. They're trying to fix the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But like for you to just blatantly say you didn't know to Melody about the stalking and the trying to be controlling, come on now. And then, you make this video saying that secretly everyone is in love with you. Then, if you notice, he talked about something very specific. He said people making fake pages to attack you and attack your business. Now, of course, I instantly thought about Stormi Steele from Love and Marriage Huntsville and everything that's been happening with customer reviews on YouTube, the Better Business Bureau website, TikTok, and he is convinced, it sounds like, that perhaps some people are making fake pages to attack someone's business. Do you all think that he was referring to Stormi? I do. But the people who are making TikTok videos where you show your face, that is totally not a fake page. That is them being honest. The last time I heard this excuse for a TikTok video was when Dr. Heavenly was trying to defend Dr. Jackie in December, when people were coming out, allegedly former patients of hers, talking about the treatment that they received. And they were trying to say, Dr. Heavenly was trying to say that those were fake people just making up stuff. And when people were advocating for Quad after how she was treated, Dr. Heavenly said that those were bots. She got that from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Come on now, everyone are bots. So, I feel like he's torn a page out of that book. by saying, people are creating fake pages to attack the business. Stormy was in the comments. She said he ate, and there were also comments in the positive from Arena, Ashley, and Joy from Love and Marriage DC. So definitely, I wanted to hear from you all and get your thoughts on the video. Certainly, I feel like sometimes like things will kind of, I don't know if things are meant to throw you off sometimes, because sometimes I feel like, I wonder, will there be like a moving on? Like, is he going to move on from OWN? Sometimes it feels like there's a serious, serious issue between he and Melody. I don't think she's putting up with any foolery anymore. She said that the puppets are of no concern of her. She's coming for the puppet master, and sometimes I feel like, what's going on? But then at the same time, again, he's so invested in trying to fix the issues with Love and Marriage DC. So maybe it's not an OWN situation, maybe some change is going to come concerning Love and Marriage Huntsville. We have to see. But thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate the support. Sunday is kind of like my power day. So this morning, I went to the gym. That's why my hair is in these two messy ponytails, one at the top, one at the bottom. And then I went grocery shopping. I've already meal prepped where I make like lunch, just like rice and veggies for the week. And I'm creating content. And so, yeah, kind of getting some stuff done. It does feel good. And I cannot believe we're already in the second quarter of the year. I feel like it's almost frightening how fast time goes by, but I hope that it's been like a good year for you so far. Now you have plenty of time to have positive experiences and feel both productive and, like you've enjoyed yourself. So we still have like a lot of time to make this an incredible year. The first quarter, there were like moments of like some anxiety and stress for me, just because like I learned like my tenant is moving out. I didn't feel like getting to know any more new tenants. So I am selling my rental property, and God willing, I'll be closing in a little over a week. So it'll just be like a release. And I made a video on my personal Facebook page, and like so many of my classmates, they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. And I'm like, I've had this property since I was 24. I've had it for 20 years, just because my big sister, Kim, she's 14 years older than me. When I was ready after college, I was just going to get an apartment. And I just told her very casually, she was like, no, you shouldn't rent. You should buy. And I was like, okay. She was like, and don't buy in the city of Detroit, buy like outside of the city and get a condo. So, because you don't do housework, yard work. So I literally just did what my sister said and bought bought the property that I lived in. But, looking back, that's kind of like not your normal major life decision to just buy a property because your big sister tells you. But that was definitely a reflection of me being a young adult and people pleasing, and used to being the baby with older siblings and lots of them, and doing what several people told me to do, So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Even when I bought this house, she tried to tell me like, you don't do yard work, you don't get a condo. And I was like, what in the world? She tried it on me again. And my god sister was like, no, you love that house. You put in an offer. So like I stuck it out, but it was just like crazy, if you grew up in a very controlled environment or a very strict and religious home, and the people pleasing that's just kind of like stirred in like one of the ingredients in your life in the raising of you. So it'll be like selling the rental property will be like the last piece of me letting go, shedding like the old layers of me that was like the people pleaser. And then, she wanted me, she was trying to recommend people for me to rent it to. And then when I didn't do that, because I didn't want her all in the business, she would have been like a co-landlord. So then she was like, you should just sell it, and this was 6 years ago. So I've had this tenant, I've had a total of 2 tenants. This tenant lived there for 6 years. So now I'm selling it, but on my terms. And the feeling is amazing. So I hope that you all are having a great weekend. Oh, I almost forgot. After analyzing Carlos's video, I wanted to show you all Stormi's IG stories. It actually, she tagged someone who was recording the video, so I went to his IG. So I'm gonna share this tab. Okay, let me make sure you all can see it. There we are. I'm not gonna let the sound play because it's Keisha Cole. They were at a karaoke bar and Stormi is singing lead, okay? And behind her is one of her background singers, Nell Fletcher. So then I just wanna talk for a moment about, like when you hang out with folks. So here we go. I'm not playing so you can see they're at the karaoke bar. They're having fun. I like Nell's jumpsuit. It's sexy. And they were singing Keisha Cole, having just like a great time. So I'll put it back on the tab with Carlos. So now I know some people, because even me, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I really hope that, Chris and Nell Fletcher, they're sincerely Melody's friends, and I'm pretty sure for the most part that they are, perhaps they're trying to be neutral and it's like just hanging out with a coworker, going to the karaoke spot. Like if they are not discussing Melody, if they're not discussing the show, if they are just kicking it, talking about life, throwing back some Patron shots and then singing karaoke, that's cool. But if they're not maintaining boundaries and they're discussing people in the show, then I think that it could get messy. And so I guess it's just a matter of how they're kicking it. Now, some people may say, chill, they're just hanging out, and there are instances. Have you ever had people, because, you think about your friends and you might put some people in separate boxes. They have different needs. They're into different things. I have friends that are more religious than others. So I can speak to some of them, and we're speaking more spiritually, getting very specific, Christianity, the Bible. We may go to like a gospel concert, and then I have friends who are spiritual. They go to church, they study the Bible. And like we also go hustle and ballroom dancing, okay? If you're here in the Midwest, the ballrooming is a great thing. In Chicago, they step. And so like that friend, you can do all of that with too. And then you may have friends. I have a friend, Jane. She happens to be Jewish. She and we meet at Starbucks and we talk. And we also go to like museums, we may go to it. Like we went to a show like 6 months ago where all of the people that were in this play, it was kind of like monologues. They had all overcome addiction. And so they were talking about certain times in their lives, like each person, it kind of looked like a one woman or one man show. Like that's this type of stuff Jane and I do, you know what I'm saying? But is Jane going to go to the club with me so we can hustle and ballroom dance? No. She is Jewish. Do we talk about religion? Yeah. So with that being said, Nell and Stormi, it could just be a strictly hanging out thing. It doesn't have to be anything symbolic of a betrayal. I just hope that there's like boundaries maintained, established and maintained. Just don't even discuss Melody. Don't even discuss her former marriage or even perhaps the show. Let's just kick it, outside of the show. That could be all it is. That's what I hope that's all it is. All right, y'all. So again, thank you so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video. It is a free way of supporting the channel. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.